Today I'm going to talk about my favorite university, Stanford University, that does not require any introduction from anybody. Few years ago, one of the students who I worked with made it into the Stanford University and he invited me over. Here is the throwback picture. I so love this university. This is such a nice campus, such a beautiful university. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the scholarship programs that international students can apply to at undergraduate level, master's level, and PhD level, and of course, overall admission process at Stanford University. So let's get started. If you are new to this channel, I would highly encourage you to watch my previous 100% scholarship videos where I have talked about universities like Yale, Princeton, and University of Toronto that pays 100% scholarship to international students. And also subscribe to my channel because more such videos are coming in future. One thing that I experienced during my visit at Stanford is its proximity to the Bay Area has a tremendous effect on its students. Everybody there is so focused, so motivated, and for a pretty good reason, because when they see at the list of alumni, they see Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the founder of Google, Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal, Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, Sandy and Leonard, the founder of Cisco. They have all these reasons to feel motivated. And why not? Stanford is one of those very few universities where alumni have achieved so much in their life. Now coming to the cost of attendance, the 1 year cost of attendance for 2023 estimate is approximately $82,000. And that of course is a very high if you have to pay that out of your pocket. Fortunately, Stanford has a very generous financial aid package. At undergraduate level, they basically have 4 different type of scholarship or financial aid that international students can apply to. Number 1, of course, the university scholarships, 2 research projects, 3 on-campus jobs, and 4 paid internships. Now, the university scholarships are the most generous and will cover the major chunk of your cost of attendance. In the year of 2020-21 alone, Stanford paid $213 million in the scholarships to international students as well as domestic students. If you convert that amount into Indian currency, that's approximately equal to 1700 crore rupees as of now. 48% of students received need-based scholarship last year. I mean, every other student received a need-based financial aid from Stanford. Stanford scholarship program is need-based. There is no merit-based scholarship. Stanford meets the 100% demonstrated financial need of the student. Now, what does it mean, demonstrated financial need? It means that university is going to ask you your parents' financial or tax documents and will decide based on those tax documents or your income level whether you qualify for the need-based scholarship or not. In simple words, you have to demonstrate to Stanford that you need this scholarship. Don't worry, an average middle-class family will qualify for this need-based scholarships because the family is making up to $75,000 per year, which is equivalent to 60 lakh rupees in Indian currency, typically pays no tuition fee, no boarding, and no cost for lodging. So Stanford pays everything under the need-based scholarship to those students with the family income less than $75,000. And even if your family is making $150,000, you can still qualify for the 100% tuition fees. Stanford might not pay for your boarding and lodging in that case, but you will still get 100% tuition fee waiver from the Stanford, even if your family is making up to $115,000. That of course doesn't come easy. Stanford is one of the most competitive university in the US. The last year acceptance rate at undergraduate level at Stanford was only 4%. Now, one important thing that you should keep in mind is Stanford operates on need blind basis for domestic students only. For international students, Stanford is a need aware university. Now, what does it mean for you? That means if as an international student you apply the financial aid at Stanford, Stanford is going to factor that financial aid request in the admission decision. That will make the decision even competitive for you guys, for international students. Now let's talk about how to apply for the financial aid. Basically, if you want to apply for financial aid at Stanford at undergraduate level, you have to follow these 2 steps. Number 1, you have to apply through CSS. And number 2, you have to also fill up your tax information and give your parents' tax documentation to Stanford. Based on that, Stanford will determine whether you qualify for the need-based scholarship or not. Now, for the domestic students, they have an additional step. They have to also fill up the FAFSA, FAFSA form. I will leave all the links in the description. You can just click on that and read more about it. Now, for the folks who are shooting for the graduate programs like PhD, MS, MBA, JD, DM, or any of the graduate level programs, you guys can apply. There is a very nice scholarship. It's called Knight's Hennessy Scholarship, and it's open right now. It covers basically the full tuition fee and any associated fees, a stipend for the living cost that includes like your room, boarding, books, academic supplies, local transportation, and even the personal expenses. The travel stipend to cover your economy class ticket from your country to Stanford and from Stanford to your country. One-time relocation stipend, and also it covers stipend for attending conferences in second and third year of your course. So this basically covers everything. In order to apply for the scholarship, you have to fill up a separate scholarship form. I will also leave that link in the description. The total number of awards are 80 under this scholarship, but Stanford is going to increase the number to 100 in the coming years. But nevertheless, 80 is still pretty high number. Now, in addition to the Knight's Hennessy Scholarship, graduate students are also eligible to apply teaching assistantship and research assistantship. In fact, the Stanford University is very generous, providing teaching assistantship and research assistantship to all the international students. And finally, students are also eligible to work on campus 20 hours a week, which will additionally help cover their living expenses. And not only that, Stanford in fact also encourages students to go for summer internship, and the money you will earn during your summer internship will also be very helpful to take some of your financial burden off your shoulders. Now let's talk about the application process. For undergraduate program, the Stanford accepts applications through Common App like many other universities in US. Common App is basically a platform, or rather I should say a common platform that a high school student can use to apply over 1,000 schools in US at undergraduate level. The process is very straightforward. You have to fill up a bunch of personal information, your college choices, and write some of the essays. And that's it. That's very easy. That's very straightforward, and I'll leave the link in the description. And one expert tip here is when you write an essay or your prompt, spend as much time as you can on perfecting your essay for Stanford. Because Stanford takes the essays very seriously. The selection process at Stanford is actually a holistic approach where they take a deeper look at your life experiences, your character and intellectual contributions, your ideas and interests, rather than just looking at your GPA or test scores. Make sure you give them an idea about your true self and show them who you really are. Now coming to the grad aspirants, masters and PhD candidates, you guys basically have to go through the online application portal of the Stanford University. Typically you will require a standard test like GRE or GMAT, but many departments now have waived the GRE or GMAT requirements. So check out with your department, specific department, whether the department is accepting GRE or GMAT. I have checked for many departments and they have waived the GRE requirement, but I would encourage you to check your particular or specific department. And in addition to that, you would also require English language proficiency test, which is basically a TOEFLs, and also you need SOP, 2 or 3 letter of recommendations and transcripts. And I have videos, by the way, on all those topics. Please do watch those videos, and good luck for your application.